Aloha everyone, Sloane here, and I am coming to you with another Tuesday training from the Hive in Kailua, a brand new collaborative workspace. Before we get started, I just want to say that we are co-working today, so if a phone goes off or you hear somebody answer a phone, don't freak out. We're in a collaborative space and those things happen. Okay, I'm really excited though, and for this Tuesday training, it's a good friend of mine. I pulled her away from a really busy schedule and I'm really excited that she's here. So we have best-selling author Janae Dana of Focus Opus here with us today. I have to read her bio because it's amazing. I'm really excited. Okay, so Janae Dana graduated from UCLA in 3 years and still had a blast in spite of struggling with ADHD and undiagnosed reading disabilities. Since then, she became the president and chief focusing officer of Focus Opus. Her book debuted on Amazon at #1. She can officially say she's a best-selling author. And Kaylee's pumping her fist back there. And her first award was the gold medal for nonfiction education from the Reader's Favorite International Book Awards. Janae currently lives in Hawaii with her husband, and she is a participant in the Blue Startups cohort #3, as well as the recipient of the Best Rebrand Award, correct? From
the American Marketing Association, but the Hawaii chapter.
Awesome. Yeah. So I am very excited. Oh, and one more thing, like there isn't enough room on that, but I'm gonna add one more thing in. Janae is also currently the reigning Mrs. Waikiki International,
yeah.
Mrs. Hawaii,
yeah.
Waikiki International.
Yeah.
So everybody, let's welcome Janae. Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much, like I said, for coming. I know you're super busy, so
I'm anything for you, Sloane. Thank you for inviting me. Like, this is cool. Like, I'm happy to always sit and chat with you, and I appreciate you inviting me here. And I'm excited to see your space.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Focus Opus. For some of our viewers that haven't heard of Focus Opus, and what the concept is behind the book, please tell us more.
Okay, so Focus Opus is a company that I started, and me and my husband now are currently running, which is exciting. Yeah, husband and wife.
Yes,
so,
yay, go team.
Go, yeah, go team. And what we do is we help small business owners and students increase their productivity without sacrificing their quality of life. And that's what I love to do. We do that through creating tools. And I also wrote a book, and our motto is have fun and get it done. And that's actually the title of our book. So it's about not sacrificing that quality of life. It's not, get it done, and if there's enough time, have fun, but just kidding, there is none. It's have fun and get it done.
Okay, so I want to have fun and get it done, and I know a lot of us do too, and that's why I asked you here today. Mm-hmm. There is this constant struggle with, especially small business owners. We're in a community of small business owners, and sometimes we have a tendency to stick our head in the ground and just go. Yeah. To the point of exhaustion and fatigue, and I'm totally not speaking from experience or anything. Give us some tips. Tell me a little bit about how you did it when you were in college.
That's actually how I stumbled on the have fun and get it done method, a little bit on accident. But what happened was I was really stressed out. I was struggling in school. I almost dropped out at the end of my second year. I was going to UCLA. And I'm getting good grades. I was super stressed. I wasn't happy. And then I ended up getting diagnosed with ADHD at the end of my second year. And so then I decided, I was barely handling 12 units. Let's just go ahead and kill myself and take 26 because I just want to get out of here. So I did a double load of UCLA requirements while working. So that the plan was to get out. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel in 9 months. What happened was I was expecting it to be horrible. It ended up being the best year of my life. Up to that point. Yeah. And I ended up increasing my grades, which were already good. My stress significantly decreased, and I felt like I had more free time, and my social life was even better. Okay. That made absolutely no sense at all because I was doing triple the work. Yeah. And so at the end of that year, after graduating, I reverse engineered what I did. And then I read a book called The Success Principles, Jack Canfield, great book. I realized that a lot of the things I had kind of somehow inadvertently done that year. There's 64 principles. I was probably doing about half of them, and that got me through that year. And then I realized that there were some new principles that I didn't know of and I wanted to apply, and there was no system to do it. It was a bunch of great concepts, and amazing that he even took the time just to compile all that together in one source. I mean, that was the first step. But now it's like, okay, where's the system? And there wasn't one. So I searched for 3 months, I couldn't find it, and I made it for myself. It wasn't a business. I just needed it for me.
Of course.
And then it ended up turning into a business after some business associates that I was working with at the time started asked me if they could use it too, and they ended up earning their free cards and became directors while using the product within the company that we were at with at the time. And they encouraged me to start my company after that. So
that is really exciting. So in essence, it was like there was the what. The what was there, and you just found a way to put it together to teach us the how to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really simple. It's actually, if you're, the thing that I noticed that third year, and then what I continued to take on into writing my book, into starting my own company, was that I got crystal clear on what my values and priorities were.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean crystal clear. Like, I knew what I wanted. It was just deep in my gut. And when you're crystal clear on that, you can write that out and you can spit it out like in the middle of the night if someone were to wake you up. It's really easy to say no to the things that aren't going to get you what you want, because you know what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you don't overfill your plate. Most of the time we feel overwhelmed or upset, or we're not getting everything that we want done, because especially as entrepreneurs, we're natural overachievers. And we overfill our plate.
Absolutely.
And then we beat ourselves up, and productivity is stress is the #1 killer of productivity.
Absolutely. So. You know, along the lines of stress and that being the #1 killer of productivity, it's part of the reason why I fell in love with co-working. Because studies have proven that co-workers have less stress, which leads to higher productivity.
That's interesting.
Because they're in a community of like-minded people, they're being supported, they understand that they're not in it alone, and even though sometimes we're here independently working, the vibration or the feeling of just having other people that are in the same boat as you helps to alleviate a lot of that stress and pressure as entrepreneurs that we like innately just are born with.
Right.
We just have that always. And so it has been proven to lead to increased productivity. There was a study out of Stanford.
Oh, I love that, because that makes total sense to me, because I know that, and there is already studies that back up how stress like kills productivity, but the fact that there's the down and out of backup co-working, which just makes sense.
Cool.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. I'm going to look up that study out there.
Yes. Okay, so all right, so we have the groundwork now. That's how you got started. Let's let's fast forward to where you are today, because some exciting things have just happened, especially with Blue Startups.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Okay, so exciting. So Blue Startups is the only venture capital accelerator firm in Hawaii. They're amazing. They're creating what we call startup paradise.
Oh, I love that.
Hashtag. And it's a collaborative effort with everyone on the island who is a part of the startup community, and they're really over the past few years have been building that community.
Cool.
We're actually only the third cohort. They have it's essentially a very new program, because they have a cohort every 6 months.
Okay.
And they've already started to see some success. I mean, long-term success can't be shown yet,
of course,
because we're so new. But they have some great companies coming out of the first and second cohorts.
That's exciting.
And we're currently in the third cohort, in almost the middle of it.
Okay, so let's talk about your experience in Blue Startup, as in how has it been for you so far, and what was the process of getting started? Maybe what drew you to Blue Startups?
I started to take notice of Blue Startups when they first emerged, and they were getting press, and I was like, what is this? So I investigated it. I got introduced to Melly at Blue Startup. She's their program coordinator. She's amazing, and program manager. I should know her official title. Sorry, Melly. No, but she is amazing, and she was my first introduction to the program. and I just started following them and I almost was kind of interviewing them at the same time, like, is this a good fit? Because when you do join Blue Startups, they almost essentially come on as a co-founder, and they do get equity in your company. And so it's like, okay, well, we need to interview each other then, because it needs to be a good fit. And it was amazing because usually every cohort, they get a ton of applications. Over 200 companies applied, and 8 got in. Five local companies and 3 from the mainland. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
So why did you want to apply for Blue Startups? What was happening for you in your company that got you to submit that application?
I knew it was time that we needed to develop our web application, and I knew I was going to need some support in order to do that. And the mentorship that is offered through Blue Startups, it's not even just they do provide some seed funding for you,
right?
But you get amazing mentors. I mean, we're talking about people even locally from Hawaii who have built billion-dollar companies, took companies to IPO in less than 2 years.
That's amazing.
And they're here to mentor you weekly. And so we have our lead members, we have access to all the mentors in their network, and I knew that was just priceless. So I really wanted access to the people who've done it before, because that's how I learned.
I want to know, I guess I kind of want to dig in a little bit deeper.
Okay.
What I really want to know is, how did you transition from your book and the system there, right, and the coaching that you were doing, to the mobile application process?
That's a good question. It's a transition. We're actually still in transition. We're building the web application right now.
Okay.
We had a prototype, and now what we're doing is we're whittling it down into the most important feature.
Okay.
What is going to give my current clients and our potential clients the best bang for their buck initially when they sign up? Like, what is the most important thing? So we whittled that down, and I've decided that the fastest and quickest way to double your productivity, based on the feedback that we've had, is to use the daily dibs pages that we had. It was our daily sheets. And so we're going to be launching that this week, which is really exciting. And then we're going to build upon that based on our user feedback. So it's actually going to be a constant transition, because we're going to be pulling out a feature maybe once a week, maybe once a month. It might not be as fast as a week, depending on the feature and how big the feature is.
Cool.
But we're going to be growing with our beta testers.
That's exciting. So basically, let's make sure that we're really clear for our viewers to understand. The application is going to help us to go through the process of focusing into what we really want to do,
Right.
and it's going to help us to increase our productivity,
Right.
and have fun and get it done.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. That's easy.
Exactly.
I'm really excited, and I know we were talking earlier, and you said that you are in the process of looking for beta testers. Okay, so tell people how they can go ahead and get more information about that.
Oh yeah, great. So what you can do is you can go to focusopus.com. That's FOCUSOPUS.com. And in the transition phase, because again, we're starting up this week, so if there might be a time when the site is down while we're transferring everything over, the web app over to the site, if you happen to check into the site when that is occurring, you can just email me directly at Janae@focusopus.com, and I will get you set up. So that's Janae spelled like Renee, so that's JENEE @focusopus.com, and that's an easy way too. And we'll make sure that if you're interested, you'll be taken care of.
Awesome.
And,
and we'll definitely have that on the ticker below, and all the information on our website as well, so that people can get in touch with you. But I want to ask you, you've been through so much. I think just recently you were running in a pageant, you were in this Blue Startup process, and you had all this, this wonderful transition with your business. What are some of the biggest challenges, I guess, that you faced throughout? Maybe it's this time, or maybe just in general?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges most recently was, I was competing in the Mrs. Hawaii International pageant, which was awesome, and I made a lot of good friends. It was a great experience. And then at the very end of that last 2 weeks was the first 2 weeks of the Blue Startups program. So not only was I running in the pageant, and all of the things that come with that. Then I also had a new schedule that I was introduced to, because Blue Startups is an accelerator. It's not an incubator, which most people are familiar with. And in an accelerator, there is a lot of work in a very short amount of time. And plus, it's also a new schedule, which anyone is going to take time to adjust to. So that was interesting. I'm not gonna lie, those first 2 weeks I was like, okay, wow, but it's only 2 weeks. And so one of the things that I learned is that as long as you're focused and you know what you want, there are times when your schedule, when your plate might be a little bit overfilled. As long as you're aware of it and you know the time frame, okay, short-term sacrifice, long-term gain, it's only 2 weeks, I can handle this. That's what kept me going.
Absolutely.
But in terms of a long-term basis, being able to stay in that type of schedule, I wouldn't even be able to do it. That's a lot going on.
I think you said something really key, is that knowing that, this is not forever, that it's short term, but I call them entrepreneurial bursts.
Yeah.
Right? So I will do the same thing, like I'll run really fast if there's a product or something that I'm launching or something's happening, but then I know that it's only going to be till 4 a.m. for the next 3 days.
Right.
And then I can go to bed at the regular time. But for right now, we have to get this done because, again, I think it goes back to something you said earlier. It's that gut instinct. It's that thing in the inside, right? That's saying, like, this is what I want. Like, that's how you know that those spurts or those crazy times are worth it. Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. I'm so excited. Okay. I love to be able to talk to people that get it.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Like my right?
Okay, okay, so that's great. What about how do you look at challenging times like that and really stay motivated? Because I think there's one thing to be focused, but then there's another thing to be motivated. So where do you find your motivation and your inspiration from?
That's a really good question. It's actually one of the reasons why the system that I created, which was originally on paper, that we're transitioning to web app, works. And that's because the way to stay motivated is to focus on intrinsic motivation. Most time management systems out there, either they tend to focus on extrinsic motivation.
Okay.
So external motivation. And I'll give you an example. So like, I was talking with this guy the other day, and he was talking about how he made this bet with his wife, and that he was, if he didn't work out 3 times a week, she got a $50 gift card. So I can't remember the store. It was like Marshalls or something.
Nice.
Yeah, right. And I was like, oh, that is such a big deal. And he was like, what are you talking about? I haven't worked out for 2 months. I was like, yeah, that's a great deal for your wife, man. Like, that is awesome. And he was like, and I was, so he after he did that, he really understood what I was talking about when I said extrinsic versus intrinsic.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with extrinsic motivation.
Okay.
It can be effective.
Yeah.
It's just that it's proven to be very short term.
Okay.
Which is why, for if people usually fall off a new system wagon because you use it for 2 days or 2 weeks and then you're done.
Yeah.
That's because that extrinsic motivation is no longer working. You have to change. You have to constantly change it.
Okay.
But if you're focused on internal motivation, intrinsic motivation, that will keep you going for the long haul.
Okay.
That will keep you, that is sustainable and proven to be long term. And so, like I was saying before too in the interview, is that I figured out for me, what's my why? What is important to me? Like, what are my values and priorities? Which is just a fancy term for saying what matters to me.
Right.
What means the most to me, and then the rest isn't as important. And if I only focus on that, I don't overfill my plate, and for me, what keeps me motivated personally is quality time with the people that I love, and making sure that I have that time, and even some me time, because I can be a little selfish, and that's okay. I need that me time to recharge, right? And the other things that keep me motivated is, for me personally, I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love the have fun and get it done method. I love creating systems that make people's lives easier. For me, I know that sounds, I don't know, maybe that's a little geeky or whatever.
No,
I don't care. Like, I love it. Like, that's what I live for. And so for me, like, focusing on what I love and trying to delegate the rest.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Is how I'm able to keep going and move forward. That's just me though.
I think that's you, and that's a lot of us. So I think we should end there.
Okay.
Because I totally am like, I think that's the message. Above everything else, what keeps us focused and motivated, we need the tools, we need our Focus Opus mobile app, and we need all of those things. Most of all, we need to love what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if you love what you're doing every day and you're waking up and you can't wait to get to work, or you can't wait to get to the office, then that's when you know that that's what it is.
Yeah, and that gets you through the hard times. And it's different for everybody. Like, you need to figure out what you love. Like, that's not a cookie cutter thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go find what you love.
Yes.
And live your dreams. And then go and check out focusopus.com. Thanks so much for being here with us today. I hope you enjoyed this Tuesday training, and we will see you again next week. Bye. Thank you.